Howdy, it's October, and that means Halloween and everything that goes with it. Costume parties, haunted houses, Rocky Horror, scary yard displays, and of course my 45 Grave t-shirt. It also means spooky music on the radio. You know, the Monster Mash, Werewolves of London, Season of the Witch, Black Magic Woman, etc. And while these tunes may be somewhat thematically appropriate, if you stop to think about it, none of these tunes are really scary. They're not going to give you goosebumps or make your hair stand on end. So for this Halloween season, let's look at some albums which truly walk on the dark side with some deeply chilling themes, lyrics, and soundscapes. Stick around. So I've said it before and I'm about to say it again. So just say it with me. I love scary, weird, and disturbing music. So it only makes sense that once October shows up, I have a group of favorite albums which frame the run-up to Halloween for me. And these albums are full of ghosts, demons, curses, psychopathy and psychosis, death, general evil, heresy, and even the devil himself. And that being said, I'm not a big fan of music that's just gratuitous gore, butchery, and evil for its own sake. And yes, several of my picks are gory and evil. But the scariest songs for me are the ones which have their tongues planted firmly in their cheeks simply because it imparts a bit of a, and I'm sorry, I can't resist, devil-may-care attitude towards the subject matter. Now, there are several albums which didn't make the list, so in the interest of time, I'd just like to mention them quickly before we jump in. There's Love It to Death by the Alice Cooper Band, Closer by Joy Division, The Cure's 17 Seconds, Melissa by Merciful Fate, Bauhaus's In the Flat Field, and Christian Death's Only Theater of Pain. Check these albums out for a good creepy listen. Okay, here we go with 9 truly terrifying albums. But before we jump in, I do want to mention I'm going to do this episode in 2 parts. This is part 1, and I'm only going to list my picks 9 through 5. And then in episode 2, I'll be doing 4 to 1. Okay, anyway, here we go.
You are my watcher. I follow your presence. I hear you, I hear you, I hear you, I hear you. Don't go near the trees, no. Don't go. Don't go near the trees, no. Don't go. Don't go near the trees, no.
Kicking everything off at number 9, Burning Oil by Skeletal Family. And full disclosure, I've discussed this album previously, so I'm actually going to use some of the script from the 9 Amazing Bands You've Never Heard Before episode. And a few years ago, I accidentally discovered Skeletal Family while browsing for Susie and the Banshees videos on YouTube. And their 1984 debut album, Burning Oil, reminds me quite a bit of the early Banshees album, with tribal drums, chiming yet distorted textural guitars, and frantic, yelping, often pitchy vocals. But while the Banshees always exhibited a cool sophistication, even in their most hysterical moments, Skeletal Family is positively feral, sounding every bit like a pagan bacchanalia, spurred on by Anne-Marie Hurst's grunts, howls, barks, and yelps. And her sobbing, echoed vocals on the trees, punctuated by giggles, gasps, screams, and near atonal guitar accompaniment, is a masterclass of how to evoke a terrifying soundscape. The Wind Blows always stood out to me as a sort of slow motion blueprint for later developments in Norwegian black metal, with Stan Greenwood's heavily reverbed and extensively tremolo-picked guitar parts. The track Black Juju is a reimagined but very respectable cover of the Alice Cooper Band tune from the 1971 album Love It to Death, and like I mentioned earlier, that album almost made this list. The songs Ritual and the Joy Division or New Order-esque Just a Friend are some further standout tunes. Now, my favorite era of the band features vocalist Katrina Phillips, but I'll be discussing that incarnation of the band later because Katrina is one of my favorite singers ever, and I intend to spend some time discussing her recorded output with this band. Number 8, Born Again by Black Sabbath. This is the one album Sabbath did with Deep Purple singer slash shrieker Ian Gillan, and it's a beast. And there's a lot of division amongst the Sabbath fandom over this record, and the arguments are usually, it's a great record, but it's not Sabbath, or Ian Gillan was a bad fit and the album sucks. I actually disagree on both counts. I think it's a great record, and I like this incarnation of the band better than the Dio version. So, why do I rate this album as truly terrifying? Well, sonically, this one's over the top and actually sounds unhinged. I'm not really sure I've ever heard anything so savage and, again, unhinged from Sabbath before or since. Well, that's not really true. Hole in the Sky, Supernaut, and Into the Void come close. But on this album, Tony's rhythm tone is muddy and sludgy. Incidentally, so is the entire mix of the album. But his lead tone is jagged, snarly, shrill, and really out of control. And Ian's literally blood-curdling screams provide a perfect counterpoint to the grindy, swampy, dirty accompaniment of the band. The opening track, Trashed, is about drinking and driving, and the image is sobering, and yes, pun intended. As Ian growls, I was turning, tires burning, the ground was in my sky, I was laughing, the bitch was trashed, and death was in my eye. And that line has haunted me for years. And I wish I could really describe the mental picture I conjure up every time I hear those lines. Disturbing the Priest is essentially a duet between banshee shrieks and harmonic-laden guitar screeds in an amazing high-frequency shrill-off contest. Zero the Hero is quite simply a grind fest which boasts one of the strangest videos that I can recall in all of video history. And even the short instrumental soundscapes, The Dark and Stonehenge, are really dark and unsettling. And the hidden gem on the record is the title track, Born Again, with its bruised, brooding guitar tone and metaphysical / alchemical lyrical imagery. Now, recently, Tony Iommi announced that he had found the album's master tapes and has hinted at a long-awaited remix and remaster. So let's hope it happens. Number 7, Juju by Susie and the Banshees. And Juju is my favorite Susie and the Banshees album by far, but it's not their scariest. We'll meet that one in just a minute. This album is dominated by dark material. Things like diabolical possession, voodoo dollies, serial killers, honor killings, and of course, Halloween. But it's not just the lyrical content of the album which sets the mood. The instrumental soundscapes are quite unsettling unto themselves. Guitarist John McGeoch's grinding, snarling, ice-pick tone guitar gestures wear away at your nerves like a belt sander. And even when he's playing with a clean chorus tone, or even with an acoustic guitar, which most of us would consider to be normal and not menacing at all, his lines are stark, angular, and, well, bleak. And it never really gives us the chance to catch our breath. And drummer Budgie and bassist Steve Severin anchor the entire bottom end like nothing less than a limping, disco-driven tank assault. And of course, Susie's wailing, whooping, groaning, and screaming vocals cap everything off. Check out Night Shift, Monitor, Halloween, and Spellbound for maximum fear quotient. Number 6, The Naked and the Dead by The Naked and the Dead. And I discovered this one in the fall of 2016. Actually, it was just a few odd songs I was able to track down on YouTube. I noticed a couple of years later that an album was available on music platforms, and I happily dived in. Now, at times the band sounds like Juju-era Banshees fronted by Altered Images' Claire Grogan. Do you remember them? Happy birthday, that group. Or they kind of sound like an American Skeletal family. In fact, Greg Fasolino's guitar tone is eerily reminiscent of Stan Greenwood's Burning Oil era tone, which lends a sinister, dissonant, jangly edge to their Banshees-inspired tribal drums and lead bass post-punk soundscape. And singer Lorraine Oakley's voice is really strangely attractive despite being erratic, inconsistent, and pitchy. Wait, those are the same qualities I love so much in Susie Sue and 45 Graves' Dinah Cancer. And her throaty, guttural whoofs on Kisses Like Death belie her punk-shouted yet chirpy vocal style. And on Taboo, she cultivates a throatier tone which propels her woofed interjections of ooh, ooh, ah, ooh, much like the bark of an excited German shepherd. Other standout tunes include Cat of the Nine, Cassandra, and the frantic Carousel. One last thing. After The Naked and the Dead, guitarist Greg Fasolino and bassist Christopher Ballman went on to form the excellent post-punk or dream pop group Bell Hollow, and they're well worth checking out. Number 5, Join Hands by Susie and the Banshees. This is my second favorite Banshees album, but actually I think it's their scariest, but not scary in a slasher flick kind of a way. Join Hands deals with genuine fear, fear of death, fear of being buried alive, fear of ritual, fear of rejection, and fear of judgment. This is an extremely dark album. In fact, every facet of this album feels as if it's caked in graveyard dirt. And speaking of graveyard dirt, I've addressed the song Premature Burial in my 9 favorite Susie tunes video. Check it out here, and I'll just move on. The track Icons rails against the nebulous codes and disciplines of organized religion, including its attendant images and iconography, culminating in the cleverest of puns as Susie sings the guilt, G-U-I-L-T, is golden. And of course, this puns on all of the gilded or gold-trimmed religious artifacts which religious institutions love to display. The song Poppy Day is a terse, matter-of-fact plea of remembrance from those British soldiers killed in action during World War II who were interred on the battlefields of Belgium. And it notably features a quote from Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae's poem In Flanders Fields. The album's showpiece, however, is The Lord's Prayer, and this is the first song the Banshees ever performed. And as indicated, it is indeed the Lord's Prayer, recited multiple times, but the action on this track occurs in Susie's spitting, venomous, blasphemous, sprechstimme invective against the idea of God, faith, and organized religion. And it's pretty vicious, and it includes snippets of pop and folk tunes, punny wordplay, and leering, gibbery vocalese, all on top of a grinding, modal, British post-punk instrumental screed. Join Hands is a monumental artistic achievement in the history of post-punk and is well worth your time checking out. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this list will give you some ideas for some albums you might want to play to set the mood for the upcoming Halloween holiday. Please like, share, and subscribe if you're enjoying the channel's content. Hit the notification bell so you'll always know when a new episode drops. And feel free to leave comments or any suggestions for some topics you might like to see in some future videos. Also, check out my other channel, Live from the Stairwell, and check out some 100% live, unplugged performances from, you guessed it, my back stairwell. Also, keep your eyes open for String 'em Up Shorts, where I address various good guitaring ideas in under a minute. My name's Dave Holland, and thanks for watching String 'em Up. Have fun, stay safe, have a great Halloween, and I'll see you next time. Bye.